Great. Travis here with Teton Toyota and Marvin Lewis today. I'm really excited to be here. Marvin, you have quite the career as far as being a coach in college athletics. So we're going to dive into that here in just a little bit. Just to kind of touch on some of your highlights, I know you had the opportunity to coach for the Steelers, the Ravens, the Redskins, and a long career there with the Bengals. Certainly excited to talk about some of that we have going on. In addition to that, you have an exciting college career as well too. Quite the resume. You got a Super Bowl under your belt. You got an FCS national championship and an AP coach of the year. So Marvin, why don't you tell us a little bit about your beginnings, your college career, and where you had your first coaching job?
Well, literally my first coaching job was at Idaho State, coaching the Kappa Deltas flag football team.
Oh, got her started with the Kappa Deltas there at ISU. That's exciting.
Yeah. So, coaching a sorority football, powder puff football team was probably my first coaching job and a championship job. So, I guess, before I ever got to coach real football, I was actually coaching powder puff football. And, I was very excited. But coming to Pocatello, and I can remember when talking to the coach, it was in the summertime, and I'm talking about Idaho. And at first I thought he said Iowa.
You're like, that's not too far from Pennsylvania, right?
Yeah.
Idaho's a little bit different.
Idaho, and it's in the mountains. And I had no idea what that meant, if that was like a building on top of a peak or what that meant. But I remember they picked us up at the airport, and the first thing they did was brought us to the mini dome and showed us the mini dome. And, my eyes lit up and everything. And, I was blessed to spend, the next 9 years of my life there in Pocatello.
Yeah, you had quite the run with ISU and the career there. Marvin, what advice would you have for somebody based off of your just unbelievable coaching career? Would you have for somebody who says maybe they're coaching their kids' flag football team, or they're helping with the high school, or they're coaching maybe some business associates that they work with? What's one piece of advice you'd give for them?
Oh man, don't underestimate your influence. When my son started playing football and everything, and the coaches would look to me, and I'm like, don't look at me. You're coaching him. He's going to listen to you more than he's going to listen to me. And you got to understand that. And that's the same thing with your business. People that run a business and run a company, those people underneath you, you need to stay positive. You need to give them direction each and every day and be positive with them and understand the impact you're going to have on their lives. So do a great job of that, and don't ever underestimate that. And make sure you stay positive, stay upfront, and really uplifting, I guess is the thing I would say, because you have a great impact that way.
Agreed. So looping back to a little bit more of your time in Pocatello, what do you think were some of the things that you learned that help you be successful today?
I think one of the things I learned that, and this is, again, goes back to business and so forth and football. Football's the greatest team sport ever. Everybody comes from a lot of different areas, but it takes 11 guys working together in order to be successful. And early on in my time in Pocatello, we had a lot of good players that never quite made it to the field because this or that happened and so forth. And I will say that with the changeover in Coach Kragthorpe and his staff that came in, and Jim Cutter, Mike Shepard, Denny Moeller, Dick Kaiser were the coaches that were on that staff, and how they were able to help keep guys enough in line to get them to the football field where then they could have some success, and also maybe smooth out the other parts of their life that weren't as smooth at that point right then, and get everybody and pull everybody in the right direction. And obviously ultimately ended up in the 1981 national championship football team.
Yeah, that is quite the accomplishment for you. That's an exciting time and an exciting opportunity. So looking back at your career, Marvin, you've had some great successes and some tough seasons as well too. Are there any big lessons that you want to share with the listeners today?
No, I think the biggest lesson is, I think that, and I would say this all the time in coaching, is each season, each opportunity, it becomes a piece of history. And if you're not successful with it, you better make sure you learn something from it, so that as you move forward, you can use that, and don't trip over the same things moving forward. Make sure that now you have a way to circumvent or push over that hump because of the lessons you learned the last time around when maybe you weren't as successful.
Yeah, those new mistakes. I think that's one thing I coach my staff on, right? Is if we just
Yeah,
don't make the same mistake over and over.
let's not be repetitive with air.
Nope.
Let's learn how to be positive and move forward and learn from anything. Any inadequacies we have, let's learn from those.
Marvin, what's it mean to you to be able to come right back here to Eastern Idaho, kind of back to your roots to be able to speak?
Well, every time I come back to Idaho, it's so much fun to see the people that had such an impact on me, and and my friends, the guys, my teammates. You bond with them for life. Friends, I mean, Susan Kent Givens. We were freshmen in biology class together, and then she becomes a bank president, and her husband Dennis Givens now, but she married one of my former teammates, and then Lyle married to Dennis Givens, and she became a bank president. And just we were freshmen together, and just I remember sitting next to her and her little green eyes, and just and then to be 40 years later or whatever it is to come back and spend time and to say hello, but everybody there and the impact they had on me. I was 2,000 miles from home, and just I learned so many lessons, so many great people. I spent almost every Thanksgiving with Jim and Barb Cutter, and the ability to do that, and it's just great.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's nothing like reliving those old memories. Marvin, let me ask you, if there's one place you could stop when you came back to Eastern Idaho, where would it be?
Well, I mentioned some of those people,
Yeah.
but back when you're in college, you can't afford to go to the Sandpiper.
That is the truth.
So, between Buddies and the Sandpiper, it would probably be the Sandpiper, I think.
Okay, that's a good call. That's a good call. Those are both staples of Pocatello. So,
Exactly.
anything else you want to share with the group, Marvin?
Well, I just think the opportunity for me to come back, and the impact that the people had on me. Like I said, when I was a freshman, the people that took me under their wing and helped me get through as a freshman from a small town outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, 2,000 miles away, and just the opportunities and that I got, and the fact that they looked out for me, and so forth. And it's fun to come back and see them, and it's always been a thrill. The athletic director now at Idaho State, Pauline. I played with her brother George Seaman, and I remember she was a little girl. I later on worked with her older sister at Sports World, the health club. I mean, it's just so many people that were impactful to me, and helped me along the way. And I'm just it's exciting to come back and see those people, and guys that I coached are now coaching. Gino Mariani coaching there in high school. Scott
Yeah.
Berger up there in Idaho Falls.
Burge.
Yeah, so I mean, you got a lot of great people, and I look forward to when I was in Cincinnati every year. The Tommy Jules and guys would come back, Marbo, they would come back and come to games and so forth. And it'd be a caravan of 12, 15 guys would come back with their wives and come to games. And, and it's just great that they thought that much. And I was able to host them like that. So just blessed.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's another connection right there. I mean, I know we're a ways away, but Tom Jules' son, right? Tommy, as you know him, both his boys work for us as well too. Neil and Tommy to us, right? We know Tom is Tom, but we know Tommy is Tommy. So that's it's definitely great to see those local connections. For the people who are maybe on the fence thinking, man, I'd like to come out, but I'm not really sure. Can you give us just a little teaser of what they might hear from you next week?
Well, I just think that, like we started out saying early on, that you have no idea the impact you can have on people, and that the opportunity to give a hand up to people is just something that we need to do in our lives. We're blessed to be able to do that, and the impact, both that the Eastern Idaho had on Southeastern Idaho had on me. I remember going, being taken fly fishing. The first off week we had. Come on, you don't get to do that in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Agreed.
you know, Going to Lava Hot Springs, just things like that you never do. Spending time at Island Park. We brought the family back for a vacation at Island Park, and I think it was in the summer of 2010 or 2011. And just the time up there after visiting there when we were in college. And, so I'm blessed to be part of that, have been part of that community and what it has meant to me, and in my career and my upbringing as an adult. And hopefully I can impact any young people that come out to the event, and I can lay something on them, because it doesn't matter where you go to school, where you start, whatever. It's what you do, and how you put good work in place. And that's what kind of shapes the rest of your life.
Well, that's certainly exciting for, a lot of those younger people that'll be there. We're looking forward to it. So hearing more about the stories about the humble beginnings and the opportunities and what you've done in your career. So looking forward to filming the event and having you there. So I appreciate your time today. I know you're a busy guy. I'll let you get back to it. But we are definitely looking forward to having the time with you.
All right. Look forward to seeing you there. Thank you.
Thank you.